Well, good morning, everyone. And thanks for being out here this morning. My name is David Doyle, and I am the chair of the Friends of GRPS Yes campaign. And we are here today to officially launch the GRPS Yes campaign to secure, connect, and transform the Grand Rapids Public Schools. And I say officially kick off, even though last weekend we had more than 200 volunteers knock on over 5,000 doors in the weekend. So we are already fully up and running, and we'll continue to do so right up through to November 3rd. The theme of our campaign is leadership that works. And I want to elaborate on that a minute briefly, because we have a board and a superintendent who do work and who do lead this district. And in 4 short years, under the leadership of Superintendent Teresa Weatherall-Neal, and with the unanimous support of the Board of Education, Grand Rapids Public Schools have emerged as a model for urban school transformation. There's no doubt in my mind that when I'm out on the street now, I hear the buzz about the Grand Rapids Public Schools and the direction they're moving in. This community now believes in the leadership that we have at the helm of these schools. I want to reflect a minute, because back in the 70s and 80s, I worked for the Board of Ed as an administrator. I did the same things that John Helmholtz does, marketing and communications. I also ran the Student Advancement Foundation for a couple of years. And I've lived in Grand Rapids all my life. I've been involved in a lot of activities. And I have worked with many superintendents and school boards. And this board and this superintendent are as good as any I've ever been around, and better than most. All right? And I mean that. And I've known Teresa since, well, way back in the day when we started working together. Yeah, we did. We worked closely with one another way back. And I am more than happy to work with her again. And so before we get to her, I want to introduce another champion for the city and our schools who will introduce Teresa. Let's hear it for Mayor George Hartwell.
Thanks, David. Well, thank you, David. Great cities have great schools, and great schools have great facilities. And great schools have great facilities because citizens know that there is value, real value, in having great facilities for students to learn at. And that value, or those values, are many. Certainly the education of our students is the first and foremost value, and being educated in a great environment is important. But citizens also realize that having great schools in their neighborhoods adds real value, adds real property value, adds real value in terms of quality of life in a neighborhood. And so citizens know that we need great schools, we need great facilities. And so I'm pleased to be here today to add my voice to those supporting this millage and urging our citizens of Grand Rapids to vote yes, to support great schools in the city. Now, great cities have great schools, which have great facilities because they have great superintendents. Yes! And we have a great superintendent here in Grand Rapids, and so it's my pleasure to turn the microphone over to our great superintendent, Teresa Weatherall-Neal.
I don't know if I should move this or not, but I should bring it down a little bit. First, I want to say that it is an honor and a privilege, truly, an honor and a privilege to be the superintendent of the Grand Rapids Public Schools and to represent this wonderful community. But I'm here today for a very special reason. I am here to ask for the voters to support me, to help me, and vote yes on this bond for our children, our schools, and our city. When I first asked about the Grand Rapids Public Schools transformation plan. I knew when I took this job that we had to make a change. But I also knew that before we could do that, we had to prove what we were about. We had to prove our worth. I made it real clear to parents, to community, to the staff. We'll show you first before we ask for anything. And we did that. We came together with our transformation plan, and that was just 3.5 years ago. From the transformation plan, I am pleased to share with you our graduation rates are up. And it's just not last year. We've done it 3 years, and we will do it again. Our test scores are on the rise. We are making a difference in the lives of children. Attendance. I took that on about 3 years ago. We have cut chronic absenteeism by 40%. It's working. Staff morale. We finally feel like one family again. David talked about how long I've known him. We're not going to say the years, but I was a teenager.
You were. You were.
And we were one then. Yes. We are one once again. Dual enrollment. That's something small that we internally measure to know the transformation plan is working. It's working for children, and that's what this is all about. Parent engagement. You can't have a great system and leave parents behind. That is working as well. This one, our bond rating is up. The time is now, you guys. This is the right time to do this. I want you to know we will continue with all of our energy, our excitement, the transformation plan. We're not going to abandon. We're going to continue to work harder than we have in the past, if that's possible. But now we're ready for phase 2. Those are the results of phase 1. Phase 2, we need to turn it up just a little bit. And that is about construction, technology, and security. It's not a lot. These kids are so worth it. And we're the right people. This is the right time for us to do this for these children and for this community. We need to have the best classrooms, the latest technology. We need to prepare these children to compete with not just children in Grand Rapids, but across this globe. We need to do that. That's our task. So I'm going to ask all of you to help me help our children, and vote yes on November 3rd. Thank you.
Before I introduce Maureen, I want to mention a couple of things. We have had some incredible endorsements and support already for this campaign, from groups as disparate as the Rental Property Owners Association, the Democratic Party, and I am pleased to say, too, we have the support of Senator David Hildenbrand here this morning with us, and I'd like you all to give him a big hand for that. Thank you, David. And now, another person I've worked with back in the day, a really good friend, Chair of the Senior Advocates, Maureen Slade.
A long time.
It was. We can talk about years.
We can talk about years. We can talk about little Teresa Neal when she was just a little kid.
She's a little girl.
She was just a little, she's still a little kid. To us, she's still a little kid. Anyway, good morning. I'm Maureen Slade, and I'm here today, and I've got a couple hats to wear. One, I'm chairperson of the Advocates for Senior Issues, which is a group of about 350 seniors. And remember, seniors vote. And I remind people of that all the time. And they have unanimously endorsed this bond issue, not just because we're a bunch of old people, but we really care about these kids. And we can see what's going on day to day in our schools, and we're observant of that. And so it's been a wonderful experience to have them support it, because usually they're kind of supporting senior issues, but this is another kind of issue that seniors do support. We certainly want to support our superintendent, who's done just a wonderful job. And as I said, I've known her too since she was still that tall. She was still that tall. I'm also the vice president of the Board of Education, Grand Rapids Public Schools, and I'm a past EI teacher. That's a teacher of emotionally impaired kids or kids with behavior disabilities. And I was an administrator here in this district for a long time and in Kalamazoo ISD. So I've been around the education field quite a long time, and I am thrilled to see what we're doing right now and how much good work we've had, how much support we have from people, from seniors to people on the street to anybody that I see. They always say, wow, you know, what's happening there? And I said, you know, this is the first time in 20 years that we haven't lost students. What's the difference here? That makes a big difference to people. And they're hearing it. And when I recently, and some of my colleagues, we ran for a re-election to the board because it's going well and we want to make sure that we can help out. You run into people, and the mood was very up. It was very supportive, unlike years past, because we've gone through ups and downs over the years. This has gone well. So on behalf of the board and our president board of our board, Tony Baker, and the Advocates for Senior Issues, and in great support of our staff who work hard. And if you want to look around this room, you can see how hard it is to work in some of these facilities. So thank you very much for your time, and please vote.
And now Carlos Sanchez, who is the chair of the Hispanic Center Board, correct? Carlos, welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Carlos Sanchez. I am the board chair of the Hispanic Center of Western Michigan. And although I'm not originally from Grand Rapids, I've been here only 18 years. But I got to tell you that I am product of public education as well. My mother was a teacher in Mexico City for 35 years. So I've seen that. And that is why I want to tell you that Latinos value public education. We are product of public education. So when I come here and I see that in this past 18 years, we've seen up and downs, right, in GRPS. But now, in the past several years, we've seen a lot more ups and ups and ups. So there is no way that we cannot come to with Superintendent Neal and support her in this. On behalf of the Hispanic Center of Western Michigan, I would like to plead you, I'd like to ask you to support leadership that works, because it's not just Latino kids, right? It is really our community kids. Thank you very much.
Okay. And now we will hear from Letitia Lipscomb, who is a Central High alum, and my notes say future parent. And I'm not sure what that's all about, but maybe you can tell us, Letitia. Thank you, Letitia.
Thank you very much. Good morning. My name is Letitia Lipscomb, and I am a Central alum. I am a future GRPS parent, as I have a wonderful 3-year-old that's going to be heading into GRPS very, very soon. And I am currently serving as a housing advocate for the Inner City Christian Federation. First and foremost, let me say that I am a proud Central High School alumni. Go Rams. And I am here today in fierce support of Superintendent Weatherall Neal and the Grand Rapids Public Schools transformation. I've had the fortune of attending an event recently that was hosted at the Grand Rapids Urban League for a variety of young professionals that were all African American that came together at the table because they were interested in being the change they wish to see in their community. We had an opportunity to have a candid, open, honest discussion with Superintendent Neal. It was amazing. She was so inspiring. She was so real. She was down to earth, and she enabled us to ask any question that might have been on our minds about the betterment of Grand Rapids Public Schools and pushing this initiative forward. From that moment forward, I knew that I was absolutely hooked, and I had to find a way back into Grand Rapids Public Schools. So here I am. I am here today because I believe in Teresa. I believe in the future of Grand Rapids Public Schools. I believe that it is time for this community to unite behind Teresa and the Board of Students, as well as the teachers at GRPS. As teachers are unsung heroes. One teacher can change the life of any child. They deserve a classroom that is designed and oriented for 21st century teaching. This is why police officers and Sheriff Larry Stelma are supporting this bond. I'd like to read a quote for you from the Grand Rapids police officer Andy Bingle, president of the Police Officers Labor Council. And I want to make sure I have it really close because I want you guys to understand and hear this. He said, "We live in the post-Columbine era where most rethink and reinvest in how we design and build our schools to ensure that we have the safest, most secure learning environment. The students, parents, volunteers, and staff at our schools deserve this, which is why Grand Rapids police officers are urging you to vote November 3rd. And you know what? He's absolutely right. The students, teachers, and support staff, they deserve this investment. In my role as an advocate for fair housing, I also know that it is very important that strong schools play a role in housing value. People deserve beautiful, safe, clean, and affordable housing. A strong school system can definitely contribute to this. I also know how smart, strategic investments of tax dollars need to be coupled with sound fiscal management. GRPS, my friends, is one of the best managed districts, not just in the state, but in the entire country. How wonderful is that? GRPS was ranked second most efficient school district by the nation by WalletHub.com in the spring of 2015. That's just this year. GRPS is one of the few urban public school districts in the state that saw their bond rating increase from negative to stable in the midst of the recession, declining enrollment, and deep state budget cuts. That is something to be so proud of. Independent financial audits have consistently found GRPS finances in good order and have earned the highest level of assurance according to the GR Press in November of 2014. With that being said, the time is now. The need is great. The children, they deserve it. Teresa, you have earned it. She has achieved real results and has a clear vision and a plan for the future. Now it's our turn as voters, as parents, as taxpayers to join Teresa, join the movement, join the energy, join my excitement and alignment around Grand Rapids Public Schools. Vote yes on November 3rd.
And our final speaker this morning is Nancy Haynes, who's a parent from C.A. Frost Environmental Academy. Nancy, thank you.
I'm not sure how to follow Letitia. I think I'll just, as a parent, I'm a proud parent. I have 3 students at C.A. Frost. It's a historically it's been a K-8, but this year for the first time, after much advocacy on behalf of all the past principals and teachers, administrators, and parents and students at C.A. Frost, the district, as part of the transformation plan, has decided to go forward and add pre-K and 9th grade this year. So we are busting at the seams at C.A. Frost. but it's such a great thing to be a part of it, where kids are on waiting lists to get in. And this is what, what the result of what Teresa talked about earlier, where she came out and she listened, and that was the key to the selling this and getting the momentum behind this transformation plan. She came out and listened, and then she put together a plan, and then she put the plan out, and then she went out and listened again, and she changed the plan. And she even ended, the courage that this woman showed by closing her alma mater, by deciding that it made sense for this community and this district to close Creston and revamp it as City High. That took great courage. And that was just one of many courageous decisions that she's made in leading our district and our city forward and our children. So as part of the transformation plan, it emerged that, that we were going to make a few changes, see how it went, and then and just hold steady and make sure that it stuck. And that's what happened. And so now we're at the second phase. We've got, as Teresa mentioned, enrollment is on the rise. Test scores are on the rise. Absenteeism is down. Everything's going in the right direction, and this is the time. Our children deserve it. The administrators have earned it. Teresa's earned it. It's just the city is moving forward, and we can't move forward unless we have strong schools. So I urge everyone to vote yes on November 3rd, right? Or absentee if you'd like, but vote yes. Be a part of what's happening, the great things that are happening in our city. Thank you.
So we have put, I believe, one of the finest teams together that we could assemble to make this bond happen. We need all of your support and help, and we need your yes votes on November 3rd. We have a lot of support, endorsements from all different walks of life. We will continue. We will work hard day and night up until November 3rd. You want to say some final words, dear? Let me just get this down a little bit here for
Maureen
us.
said that I'm still not very tall, but I really want to thank everyone for coming today. It means so much. Our students really do deserve this. It is the right thing to do.
Exactly.
So for all of you that came out, I want to thank you. But I'm going to ask my board to come up here with me, my board members to come with me. Because it isn't just me. There are many of us in this room, and we have some that are not here, but I want you to know, they all believe in this transformation plan. They voted for this plan as well. And we did build it from the ground up because it is right for our kids. So thank you to my board.